Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gotton and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Houston Texans. Brandon Gotton and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
Break this up. 19.
Watson on first down. And incomplete to open things up. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up second down. So here are the starters for this offensive unit. Lamar Miller, very good out of the backfield.
And getting better all the time. The more touches he gets in a game, the bigger his impact on it.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Ezekiel Ansah out of BYU. We call him Ziggy, and he knows where the quarterback is on every play.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man, maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Come on.
The dump off, good for 8 there on first down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On second down, it's Miller, and he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards to pick up, first down.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Here's Foreman. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll try the air now with Watson. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 42 yards. And the Texans have taken the early lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told, and the result, a Houston touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And good starting field position. They'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here come the Seahawks now for their first drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And when I think of Russell Wilson, I think not just of the big plays that he's made, and those are considerable, but when they were made. 4th and 26 in a Big Ten championship game against Michigan State when he was with Wisconsin. A big completion helped lead his team to a victory. A big 4th down throw for a touchdown in an NFC championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. When the chips are down, this guy plays at a big level.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Versatile players on defense are all the rage in the NFL, but it also helps to have a Benardrick McKinney who does one thing very, very well, and that's tackle ball carriers. Big man, big size inside, looks like a defensive end playing inside linebacker, still has the ability to run and cut runners off before they can get downfield.
He gets it to his running back, Rashad Penny. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. DeAndre Carter back deep. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Watson going to pull back the handoff and keep it himself. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that'll set them back 5. Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. After the penalty, it's Miller. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Watson hands this to Foreman. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Play action from Miller. Now Watson. On the right side, this is Miller.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
To throw is Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Watson. He gets it to Thomas. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Watson now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. It's complete to Fuller. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Now Watson's throw is taken in by QT, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. Again, it's Watson. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Thomas, the intended target.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive.
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go. I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Second and 10 now, Wilson. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up fourth down.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. On second down now, it's Miller. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson, sliding out of the pocket. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
And now Miller hit, and he fumbles.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now a first down throw, Watson. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hopkins. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Throwing is Wilson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on third down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
On fourth down, here's Trevor Daniel. Back deep, the former All-Pro Tyler Lockett. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Good work, man. Let's go. Let's go.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Here's Wilson. And a quick throw here that's complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Here's Wilson. Left side here taken in by Metcalf. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And an alley to run. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well run route.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Kill.
From the shotgun, Wilson. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11.
They're running it.
Wilson. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Let's go, D, let's go. Hey, let's get there. Let's go.
And with time running down. Now they go down to a knee. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense, exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They run it with Carson. He finds an opening past the 40. 22 yards there, a first down. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more of the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Check 41. Yo.
Now Wilson on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And now it's 2nd down. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confident.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Now Wilson operating from the gun. And that is incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
Let's go.
So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Going deep for Hopkins. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage. Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. To throw is Watson on 3rd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Watson. Open man, the tight end falls. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help the team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
Well, if you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal. Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
3rd and 2, Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Watson now to throw. Over the middle, it's Fells. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
We're set. We're getting eight. Down to lose one. Hey, got tight left. Check.
They go back to the ground now with Miller. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Setting up the screen for Miller. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Miller, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and the Texans will add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 14-0. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 the score as they regroup with 1st and 10. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Wilson now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Play action. It's Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. J.J. Watt picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Wilson. And he's got his target. That's Moore. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
They'll run with Penny here out of the shotgun. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
We got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Check 26. Check 26.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Wilson now, perfect since the 2nd half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Carson, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak, not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now Wilson. They set up the screen to Penny. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And that is incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So on 4th down, here's Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. From the left hash, this from 34. Myers' kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on,
one?
what does that mean, break out the, just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the second time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas.
Yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Wilson. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Well, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or 2, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Now listen, it's a team game, we know that, but where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? So they take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again, but on offense they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. You just mentioned it. The defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Check 31, check 31.
Watson with a give to Miller. And an alley to run. And he gets it down to the 32. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the 1st. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the 1st with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a 1st down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th.
Check, check, block 54, block 54.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And the Seahawks have recovered.
We're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you down.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of... scores, want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A well-executed 22-yard gain. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So again from the 39, this time from the other side of the field. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing again on second down. Wilson, and he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
Check 55, Mike.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
And now out comes Houston. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. First carry here for Tywan Jones. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 20. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Now Foreman. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. Down to a knee goes Watson, and that should just about do it for this ball game.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to 0. So Houston going to come away here with the victory, and they were really helped by their defense forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Seattle, so long, everybody.